Okay, fellas, I'll tell you what, last few races, much better, much better. Logan, just keep doing what you're doing, mate, and yeah, you'll be here for the rest of the season. And K-Mag, maybe just stay a few seconds up the road, just to be safe. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Kicking Haas. Today we have the Canadian Grand Prix and, well, the last two races have gone shockingly well and let's hope that we can keep the momentum going. We are currently third in the Constructors, but perhaps more than that, K-Mag is only 11 points off the top of the championship. If Sargeant hadn't plowed him out of the lead of the race in Miami, in all likelihood, he would be winning the championship right now. Sargeant, we've said he has to the summer break to get into the top 8 of the championship, and he is halfway there. He is 20 points behind George Russell, and that's only after 2 races. He's still got quite a few to go here. So, if we can both have another strong result here, then we could be very much game back on here. Now, not too much has happened. It's only been a week between the races, but you'll notice our balance is down under 1 million. Now that is because our CFD simulator went into poor condition. So rather than spend, I think it was 5 million to refurbish, I spent 15 to upgrade. So that is going to be coming and it's going to be benefit us down the line. But we're just a little thin on the ground for cash right now, which is obviously less than ideal. Now there's nothing new on the car for this one. It's only been a week between, so we haven't had time to do that. But what we do have is some development points for the drivers. Now let's stick, I think we've been doing control, haven't we, for Sargeant, and that has been helping him. And he is now a 75 rated driver with that extra point, so that is excellent news. K-Mag has a development point as well. We will probably stick that into cornering for him. See if we can get a little bit more pace. He becomes an 83 rated driver. Go on, K-Mag. And we do have a development point for Jack Crawford as well. And we will stick that into, well, let's just do cornering for him as well, shall we? And that will be that. Now, if we go and have a look at the staff, we do have a development point as well for our head of, our technical chief. So we'll stick that into perhaps chassis or suspension. Let's stick it into suspension for him. And do we have anything else? No, we do not. So that is that. Let's have a look at what we're doing here in Canada. It's going to be a wet race. I hate wet races because I can only stuff them up. Lap record is Valtteri Bottas from a few years ago. For qualifying purposes, we have a, where are we here on the track? So red is sector 1, blue is sector 2, yellow is sector 3. It's a quick track is Montreal, so we're gonna have to have our wits about us. It's a little bit like Baku actually. It's fast and it's slow speed corners. So actually acceleration, it looks like more than top speed. So let's hope we can do that. A short pit stop at Montreal, so only 19 seconds and 9-second loss for a virtual or regular safety car stop. It's a one stop really, isn't it? Soft hard or medium to hard. You wonder if you wonder how much of a soft hard is going to work. Compound performance, we can see there that it is not a huge difference in time, about 0.7 of a second a lap. So yeah, that is what it is. Previous races, K-Mag has had some good results here. 4th last year for him, and Sargeant was down there in 13th. And of course, we've got our first ever podium here, I believe, back in season 1, didn't we, with K-Mag? I'm pretty sure he got 3rd. So yeah, good history of this track for Kevin Magnussen. What are our performance targets? Let's have a look here. Reach Q3, we should be able to do that. Therefore, we should be able to reach Q2. Fastest lap and a finishing position of someone in the top 8. Let's hope we can do that. Otherwise, it's going to be a disastrous race for us. Someone in the top 10 for a finishing streak, we should do that. And qualifying streak, someone in the top 10 again. That shouldn't be a problem for us. So all that being said, let's head off to Montreal and make sure we pack an umbrella for Sunday. So, confirmation of the weekend. Clear skies, heavy rain. That's very Montreal, isn't it, historically. So, I'm going to do free practice. I'll see you for qualifying. And, yeah, it could all go wrong in the race, couldn't it? Alright, free practice is done. A little bit of a mixed bag. We'll have a quick look at the results here. FP1, we obviously have old parts in the car as well. Given the long straights, it does affect us here. But Sargeant in 16th, Crawford in 20th. Or otherwise known as last. FP2, this was a bit of a messed up session. It ended up being red flagged about 12 minutes early, I think it was. So we didn't get all their runs in. You can see K-Mag on a medium tyre was down there in 19th. Sargeant in 15th, which isn't the end of the world. And then if we go to FP3, we can see Sargeant there in 13th, K-Mag in 17th. Now, obviously we take into account old pieces in the cars, but Sargeant has been quick this weekend again. He has had 2 lockups, but we can forgive mistakes in practice. Let's see if he can make it count now in qualifying. So all the good bits are back on the car. We can see setup confidence. We never really got it nailed with Sargeant. Hopefully that doesn't affect him. And obviously K-Mag was more or less as good as we can get. So Q1 shouldn't be a problem. So indeed, it was not a problem for us. 9th and 10th, we did send Sargeant back out just to be safe. You can see there's a lot of penalties here. There has been a lot of crashes. And there was another one in qualifying just then. I think it must have been Alonso who's got himself a penalty as well. But anyway, on to Q2 we go. Alright, so we are coming on to start our second lap here. We are currently 7th with K-Mag, 9th with Sargeant. Now, Leclerc has had a bit of a dodgy lap, so he hasn't done a representative time. Perez is also behind Sargeant, so that would suggest he needs to move up at least 1 spot here if he is going to stay in qualifying, not end here in Q2. Now, we've got a green sector for Sargeant. Not so much for K-Mag, who is down into 8th now, as Norris has moved himself up into 3rd. K-Mag is struggling here. K-Mag could find himself out of qualifying if he's not careful. We've got Sargeant on 2 green sectors. He's about to come across the line. He goes 9th. K-Mag is 8th. How's that happened? Anyway, he's done yellow sectors and still come 8th. So both cars through, excellent news, and Sargeant will move up ahead of Alonso here because he has a penalty for his indiscretions in free practice. Alright, we are coming around to start the final run. K-Mag in 7th, Sargeant in 9th. Now unfortunately, Sargeant is ahead of Verstappen on track, so we might give him a little bit of a tow around as well. But let's see what sort of times we can do here. We need a better lap from the yellow first sector for both of them. Given they're on new tyres, it's a little bit disappointing, I've got to say. Sargeant should be coming up to the second qualifying line here, sector time I should say. And it's green for K-Mag. Sargeant is a mystery. We don't know what he's done, so that's going to be exciting, isn't it? He's down to 10th, although Alonso will drop behind him. Let's see what he's done here. Logan Sargeant crosses the line and stays 10th. K-Mag crosses the line and stays 7th. So another really good qualifying there from Norris, but it's 7th and 10th. We did well from there again in Baku. Let's see what we can do here in Canada. Now, it is, of course, expected to be a wet race. Rain coming around lap 20 or so here. Now, we're expecting heavy rain, so that's going to be right on the line of whether it's a wet or an intermediate, isn't it? Yeah, that's going to be one of these annoying ones, but it is going to be wet all the way to the end. So we need to get to lap 25, let's say, a little bit further than that to be safe. So let's see, how far does a medium tyre get us? It gets us there, doesn't it? A soft tyre, I imagine. A soft tyre gets us there as well, you know. A little bit less room for error, but it does get us there. And then it's going to be, it's a matter of whether we, inters or wets, and it's going to be this age-old thing now where what do I do? Either way, it's not going to make too much of a difference in terms of tyre life, I should say. Either tyre will get us to the end. I wonder if that is going to be, if it's going to... I hate this part of the game so much. Anyway, that's what we'll do, and we'll just hope that, that we're able to not stuff this up too much. And by we, I mean me, of course. Alright, welcome back, and we are getting ready to go here. I'm even thinking what we might do is just go straight onto the wets. It's going to get us there really easily to the end. We are DRSing, and we are also pushing on the fuel. We're going to bring fuel numbers back when it rains anyway. So we're on board with Sargeant here as well, who started 9th. And we've got Magnussen with a little bit of a battle there for Gasly. Gasly and Norris have been stars, haven't they? Now, let's have a look in terms of everybody else's tyres. There's some medium runners, and there's some soft, but more medium than soft. So that's a little bit of an advantage we maybe have here. But, the key is obviously going to be make sure we go into the right tyres at the right time. And given that it's a heavy rain race, the mistake could be if we go onto inters, then we have to make a second stop in really quick succession. If we're on wets, the track is going to go wet at some point. So the mistake is going to be minimalized, I think, by a little bit of track time loss, as Magnussen puts a nice move there on George Russell. Moves himself up to 6th. But you get the feeling, I mean, we're gonna push this first stint as much as we can. But it does feel a little bit like everybody's going to be waiting for the rain, doesn't it? So, yeah, we'll see what we can do. DRS will come online this lap. But yeah, this is going to be a race that is won and lost when the rain gets here, and hopefully, I just hope I don't have a negative impact. We'll also race where I end up just retiring. Was it Kevin Magnussen? Because he was like 10 laps down because I kept going there. I think, was it Austin or Zandvoort? I think I've done that a few times, haven't I? So we're still more or less just waiting for the rain to come. It is very much a top 8, or 9, sorry, with Gasly at the end of a train. 10 seconds then back to Perez, Alonso, Hamilton, who are in this sort of secondary train. So we're where we want to be right now. But yeah, no one's sort of able to pull away. DRS is just, you know, bringing people straight back. Now, of course, what's going to happen when the rain is finally here is that DRS is not going to be a thing, and then we are going to actually, Magnussen's in a bit of danger of losing the back of the Ferrari here, so we might just urge him up to the back of him a little bit if we can help it. Has he got DRS back? We'll find out here momentarily. No, he has lost it. So that's going to make him very vulnerable to cars behind as well. But still about 5 or so laps until we expect the rain, and there's the problem with losing DRS. When you're at the head of the pack, it's a little bit more difficult. Oh, Sargeant, he's done it again. He's locked up. Now, it doesn't look like it's cost him much because he's still right there. So it's a minimal mistake. It's a minimal mistake, but it is still Sargeant just... Yeah, I mean, that's easy to do. To be honest, you see that all the time in real life. I'm going to give him that one. That didn't really cost him much. But we are expecting rain any second now. Lap 25 was when we were expecting it. We are on lap 24. You can see up here it's in 2 minutes or so. Now, the slight issue we have with both cars so close together on track is the double stack. But I suspect, depending again on when the rain gets here, sort of when we first start to get the drops of rain, a double stack might well lose less time than driving around on what could be very heavy rain for a lap. So, any moment now. And here's the rain. Oh, we've just missed... Look at that. We've just missed the pits. Alright, so we are coming in this lap. I have made the decision we're going to go onto wet tyres because that is a lesser mistake, I think. We're expecting heavy rain. Therefore, we're expecting it to go to wet tyres. If we're on the wrong tyres for a little bit, I'd rather that than have to come back in, even though it is a relatively small... what have I done there? A relatively small time loss in the pit lane. So the track is damp. That's happened pretty quickly. It's only a short lap around here as well. Now, of course, Sargeant does not like being on the wrong tyres. He really, really struggles with that more so than... I mean, his rating is 49, so that's not going to be for him. But the track is getting really wet really quickly here. We're sort of halfway to wet tyres in the space of a lap. Now, is it going to sort of slow down a little bit here? Possibly. But like I say, I think being on the wet tyre earlier is the way to go. We are going to do a bit of a double stack, and it's barely cost anything. In fact, it's almost perfectly timed, you could argue. So we're on the wet tyre. What's everybody else gone to? I keep clicking the wrong way here. So there's a bit of a mixture. But Norris on the intermediate is the outlier, actually. Everybody else is on a wet tyre. So, well, we'll just kind of see how this plays out, won't we? Sargeant is down to 11th, though he really does need to get a move done here. He can't afford to be stuck behind guys on the wrong tyres for too long. So let's stick him on overtake. And he's got to get that done. And to be fair to him, he has. He's done it very, very nicely as well. So let's hope he can push in. Leclerc, who decided to do an extra lap for some reason on the dry tyres, is going to have his race ruined, as is Bottas. So Magnussen currently 4th, which should become 3rd when Norris, who's on the right tyres now, but the track is almost certainly going to go full wet, given that we're expecting heavy rain. So that should shake out in our favour. And you can see actually Leclerc, despite doing an extra lap on the wrong tyre, is 8 seconds clear of Sargeant. So that shows exactly how much time he lost sort of on the wrong tyre and then being stuck behind those two. I think it was Ricciardo and Alonso, wasn't it? So, I mean, it was to be expected. I may have made a mistake here because now it is wet. Now it is going to be the wrong tyre to be on. But look at the lead Norris has got. It's going to work out nicely for him. He's going to pit and he might, if he's unlucky, he might come out in third. Or second, I should say. But, yeah, that was definitely the wrong call from me. But then I always make the wrong call, don't I? So Norris is going to stay out in second now on the right tyres. And, yeah, well, you can see the gap that we have there. It looks as though we're in a race for third here with K-Mag, unfortunately. Oh, and Sargeant has spun. We're not gonna judge him too harshly on this race because it's wet, it's tricky, and he won't be the last guy to spin. But, yeah, needless to say, that was not necessarily what we wanted him to do. It's a tough race for him. We know that he's not good in the wet. So we had to take that on the chin to a point. If he gets anything from this race, in all honesty, it'll be a bit of a bonus for him, I think. Oh, and now K-Mag has spun. It's going to be one of these races. Oh, it's just not a good day to be in a Haas, unfortunately. Maybe the car isn't just working in the rain. Oh, did he get punted around there? So yeah, it's going a little bit wrong here, isn't it? 7th and 9th, and we're not even halfway through the race yet. Multiple cars have crashed. Now, is this going to be a safety car? We don't know as of yet. Now, which multiple cars have crashed is the other question. There's some shuffling going on down there. No DRS. DRS disabled. It is a safety car. Alright, now I don't think there's a need for us to pit because it's wet. I mean, look at the rain. There's 7.5 mil of water on the track. And there's absolutely no shame in our guys spinning, to be honest. This is treacherous conditions. But, yeah, cars have crashed. Safety car is out. It's going to bunch us up. We can start again. Okay, so safety car is coming in. It's about to be the restart. We are looking for using overtake with both cars. Try and get some moves done if we can while everybody's banked up. Now, of course, there is no DRS, so that's not something that's going to concern us. Sargeant is currently in 17th. I didn't realize he was that far down, actually. He is just not a wet weather driver, so, you know, it is what it is. Magnussen, on the other hand, in 7th. We've seen him race well in the wet before, so let's hope that that he can push on here a little bit. But, yeah, Logan Sargeant, I didn't think he was that far down. I wonder if he's had a little spin or something off the safety car restart there. But still a long, long way to go, just over halfway. So we just had 8 mil of rain on the track. I wonder at what point we get to... like, we can't race on this anymore. I mean, 8 mil of water is a lot of standing water. Both drivers, we're pushing them right on the terms of the tyres and petrol usage. K-Mag, because he can, as he's just overtaken Leclerc. Let's have a quick look at that. But Sargeant, because if he doesn't, he's not going to get... Look at the rain. He's not going to score any points anyway. And he's just shuffled it up the inside there nicely, has K-Mag. So that's P6 for him. And if he can get Gasly, that would be a nice thing as well. And he just has actually, he's gone up to 5th. But you can see Sargeant, even though he is pushing on, he's really, really struggling. So, like I say, it's not his race, not in this sort of rain. So K-Mag doing a wonderful job, is closing down and hopefully is about to overtake George Russell in the Mercedes. Can he get it done up the inside? Yes, he can. And nice little bit of ERS off the corner there. So he's up to P4 now. Can he close down Sainz, Norris and Verstappen? That is going to be the big question. There's a part of me that wants to back him off a little bit here, but he's doing well. He's doing well, so we'll leave him out there. How does his lap times compare? Oh, there it is there. So last lap, he is about half a second quicker than those guys in front. So he's doing okay. If he keeps it on the track, he could yet find himself on the podium, could K-Mag. So we have, what, 11, 12 laps to go, and Kevin Magnussen has indeed caught the lead trio. So it is now a 4-horse race for the win. And let's see what Kevin can do with, first of all, Carlos Sainz. Now, lap times, as I said, he's been catching them half a second, even more than that a lap. He is the fastest car on track, more or less, if not literally. And, well, if he can keep this going, could we be looking at back-to-back wins for Kevin Magnussen? Now, we do have that sort of late audible as... Why are cars pitting? Oh, because it's gone to medium. It's gone to intermediates. Okay, wait a second here. I may have stuffed this up. Where's Sargeant? Pause, 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 pause. Okay, so the track is... It's not going to get any better. Okay, so I've stuffed this up by not paying attention. Okay, so, Sargeant, you come in this lap. You put on some inters. And that is all good. K-Mag, you push like hell. You're going to come in this lap as well and go on to inters. And hopefully I've not badly messed that up for him. There is a very good chance that I have, as everybody else is pitting. Yeah, that's annoying that I've done that to K-Mag. I don't know why I was thinking 2 mil was. Look at this. Everybody got to sit and wait. It's that curse of that part of the stop, that being in that part of the pit lane. And it could have been so much better, and instead it's just yeah. Anyway, you can push on to the end. Let's see what K-Mag can do. He has gotten past the Ferrari. So let's see now where he is going to come out. We can see on the mini-map there, Verstappen and Norris. Has this cost us very, very badly? As we've got to wait again for the Ferrari, though, to be truthful, it looked like they may have had a faster stop anyway. So we come out basically where we were in 4th. And, well, now the question is, are we going to be able to re-close them down? Verstappen looks as though he might be going to win this one, which for K-Mag's championship hopes is only going to make that 11-point gap bigger. So Kevin Magnussen all over the back of Carlos Sainz. Can he get a move done and move himself onto the podium? It's certainly, with the pace difference, looks like he can. Sargeant's doing okay. He's too far back. I don't really understand how he ended up that far back. Anyway, it doesn't matter. As I said, wet race was never going to be his. Here we go. This is the chance for Kevin Magnussen into the hairpin. He's got some overtakes done there, hasn't he? And, yeah, I mean, you wonder if I'd brought him in when I should have that lap beforehand. I mean, he could have well have won this race. So, yeah, that's me. And maybe a little bit of rustiness and just thinking for some reason that 2 mil was the switch over from intermediates to wets. But anyway. Alright, well, K-Mag is not done yet. He is closing in half a second or more a lap on these front two. And we're going to have 4 laps to go at the end of this one. And he is right there again with a chance to overtake. Now, I wonder, do we try to harvest to get a move done using ERS? Or do we just trust that we've got enough pace in the car and enough pace in K-Mag to get the moves done naturally? Maybe we just trust him. If we can get Norris, it's probably worth having a big go at Verstappen, even if it takes us both out, because this means the championship gap doesn't get any bigger. That's what Max would do, isn't it? Here we go. We know this is where he likes to get a move done. Can't quite get it there on this lap, though. Do we have enough straight line speed to take this McLaren down? Yeah, I mean, we've caught them quickly, but we look as though we're a little bit stuck now we've got here. Alright, let's try. What do we try? Let's wait to the back straight, and let's try overtake. And we need to get, if we can get Norris, then that would be huge. Here we go. Go on, K-Mag. Stick it in there, mate. Go on. Has he got enough to get it done? He's on the inside line, coming into the hairpin. It should be enough. And that is going to be second for Kevin Magnussen, with championship leading Verstappen in front. 2 laps to go. Can K-Mag go and win back-to-back races? Oh, Verstappen looks like he's just sort of put the foot down a bit there, doesn't he? Come on, K-Mag. Come on. I've got to say, I wasn't expecting a Magnussen-Verstappen title fight this season, but that is certainly the way it's shaping up, isn't it? Can he do something? Can he get himself close enough to do something on this last lap? Is it going to come all the way down to the hairpin or even the chicane this time next lap? He certainly closed that gap back up, hasn't he? The track has changed to wet conditions. Right at the end on the last lap. Well, you would fancy that would probably help Verstappen, wouldn't you? But we're going to try the same trick here that we did on Norris. We're going to try and get the move done down this back straight using a bit of overtake. Let's see if Kevin can do it. Can he do it? Come on, K-Mag. Come on, K-Mag. Come on, K-Mag. Got some lap traffic coming up there as well. And I just don't know that we've got what it takes. It's going to come down to the hairpin. Can he stick something down the inside? Oh, not quite. Not quite. And that is going to be that, as Verstappen has a little bit of battery off the hairpin. And it's going to be second for Kevin Magnussen, unless something very dramatic happens here in the last corner. And Verstappen will win. Kevin Magnussen second. And Logan Sargeant will trundle across eventually down there in 15th.
This podium is a remarkable achievement for the whole team. Well, the Dane had a very impressive race, really delivering when the pressure was on.
So there we go. In the end, they're going that extra lap. It's cost Magnussen a win, hasn't it? Sorry, K-Mag. I will have to take that one on the chin. Up 5 places to second, though. And Sargeant, as I said, just not his race. We know that we've put no effort into making him a better driver in the wet, so we can't complain when it rains and he's not where he needs to be. So that's okay, though. We'll live and learn on that one. K-Mag, 18 points. The gap to Verstappen extends. The gap to Ferrari and Red Bull also extends. But we pulled out a little bit more on Mercedes in the process. So that'll do it for today. If you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I'm not sure what the next race is. Is it Austria? I don't know why. I think it might be Austria. But I'll see you for that one. And, could we be going for another podium for K-Mag? And if it's dry, well, Sargeant, he's taking a little bit of a backward step in his bid to keep his seat. He'll need to bounce back next time around, won't he? Take care.